Of course, Guy always notices when something's wrong. He gets home from work to find me in a frenzy on the kitchen floor, surrounded by jars and tins and arranging them according to height, circumference and expiry date. Guy doesn't say much, just gently takes the dishcloth from me, wipes the cupboard out and puts the jars back. Then he makes some tea for us both and goes to collect James from confirmation class. Means I'm back on the happy pills, of course. Not that Simon notices any change in me. He devours my body, but leaves my soul on a side plate. See, that's the great thing about mental health problems. You can walk down the street and no one knows. Not even a man who spent a lifetime in mental health. Guy never asked me what the problem is. What set it all off this time. Though I suppose I want him to. Perhaps I want to feel the relief of spilling it all out. But no, with him, the man of infinite patience, it has to be a waiting game. But I don't tell Guy or the counsellor the real problem. Because I believe I can still do this. I can live my parallel lives. Well, I need them both, you see. Well, Guy, the stability, all that investment in all those years together. And Simon, the excitement, the danger, his response. But most of all the time exciting to someone. It's not until the annual Greenhouse and Gardens plant sale that the turning point comes. I'm just arranging some star magnolia cuttings on the trestle table when in wanders Simon's wife. Well, at least I assume it's her, by the way he rushes over and becomes this whimpering, diminished figure. I busy myself choosing a pot plant for Barbara. She was admitted to the local hospice last week. And I notice Simon's wife looking at me, half smile, half sneer. So I glare back defiantly from behind a large fuchsia. She knows, and she knows I know she knows, because women just do. But I refuse to look ashamed. I thought, you needn't look so high and mighty with me, madam, because, well, I know what you keep in your bedside drawer, and well you might need it. Your husband couldn't find your lily of the valley if it had a siren and blue flashing light attached. And as I wrap my pot plant, I consider it's thanks to everything I've taught her husband that she's probably enjoying a much improved sex life. Not that I expect any gratitude in my direction. Anyway, she goes after buying a raffle ticket and some dianthus. Not that they'll grow well in her soil. Far too acidic. The end of the sale, I stay behind to tidy up with the other greenhouse and garden stalwarts. Mo Davison remarks that she hasn't seen me at church for simply ages. Are you keeping all right, dear? I notice Simon sneak out without saying goodbye. I catch up with him, just loading her ladyship's purchases into his boot. I see the nape of his neck, and I try not to let the sight of it turn my legs to jelly. I take it she knows about us then. He is rather taken aback by my directness. You think so? Well, hasn't she said anything? I suppose she did wonder why my vest smelt of perfume. Idiot man. Look, she's got a few days off. I'll try and ring you later in the week. Probably best on my mobile. I was tiring of his deceitful games. So I suggested it might look a lot less suspicious if he used the landline, Well, then it would just look like he was phoning up about greenhouse and gardens business. He gives me this sheepish smile as he gets into his car. Probably best if I don't ring at all. And then I watch the spineless creep drive off, back to his small and undemanding life. I think I'll give you bloody je ne regrette rien. And then I think, do I really want to be with him? Make all that effort getting to know someone, then to find that they're not really the person you thought they were. Well, how long before it all just descends into just some other bloke's pubic hairs to clean off the toilet seat of life? So, I go home from the plant sale. Guy's just putting lunch out on the table. The usual Saturday sandwiches and glass of red. The boys are out, thank goodness. It's not before I've downed half a bottle of Rioja that I manage to find my voice. I announce to Guy that I have something to tell him. And it's not going to be easy. And I'd understand if he doesn't want to be with me anymore. And I'm really sorry, it was a stupid thing to do. And I never stopped loving him for a minute. And as it pours out, I feel the relief flooding in. I don't think I've cried like this since that day I was told I had to leave school at 16. Guy is calm and staring and silent. And I wish he would shout or something so that I'd know what he was thinking, because, well, I really don't, except that he must be so hurt. It would have been easier to tell him I'd only got 6 months to live. But that opportunity comes sooner than I think. I wait in the desperate place that is the gynae oncology outpatients department. Doesn't look like it's had a makeover since the inception of the NHS. I'm lucky enough to squeeze into a seat next to the empty water cooler. After that it's standing room only, and people spilling out onto the corridors. I look round at the other women, all in various stages of death and hair loss. At least there's a little ray of hope in the waiting room. I spot a woman in a bandana with no eyebrows, reading one of my short stories in the afternoon tea companion. I rummage through the pile of dog-eared magazines and pull out a copy of Whiplash Weekly. It's very well thumbed. I've already got to number 3 of 5 scintillating new positions to spice up your big O when I'm called in to see the gynaecologist. Regrettably, there'll have to be a gap in my education. It's the usual. On your back, knees raised, legs in stirrups, then the cold, hard steel. What any man finds fascinating down there is beyond me. And then the results of the blood tests. It's worse than expected. I might have a tumour. It's Guy I feel sorry for. Well, I mean, he's only just got over that thing with Simon and me. Well, just about. Told me the last thing he wanted was for me to leave him, and as usual was a complete gentleman. No questions asked, not even who it was. Forgiveness and faith. I suppose that's what he's clinging to. Even so, things have been a little quiet between us. Guy lies awake through the night when he thinks I'm asleep. I need a major operation and a spell in intensive care. And 6 weeks before I can lift anything heavier than a teacup. And don't even mention sex. Guy and I made love last night. It was the first time since I told him about... Only this time, I didn't imagine it was someone else. It was only Guy I wanted, needed. It was like the early days. And like it might be the last time. They won't know definitely about the tumour until I'm on the operating table and they open me up. I haven't said anything to Barbara. No point in worrying her. Anyway, whatever they find, it's going to be a closing down sale in there. Everything must go. Apparently women of my age, well, you don't exactly need it anymore. Received a couple of rejection letters this morning. Seems my latest short stories have grown too unseemly for the readers of Lady Lucinda's Pearls of Wisdom and Twinset and Tweeds. It's difficult going up the village these days. All those concerned faces, all wanting to know how I am. The people at the church have even set up a prayer group for my health and well-being. Say it was malignant and I don't know how Guy and the boys will manage. I wonder if Simon knows.